So stickies are what can happen when lashes are either getting stuck together or getting stuck extension to extension, or even lashes getting stuck to the iPad. Now, when we're at the end of our fill or at the end of our set, we want to go through and file through all of the lashes and check for any stickies. So when you find them, which especially when you're starting out, it is really normal to find some stickies, you actually want to make sure that you're getting rid of those or taking care of those before you have the client open their eye. Because if they have lashes that are stuck together, it's going to be super painful when they grow out. So for example, this one lash extension is actually glued to 2 natural lashes. So these 2 natural lashes are going to grow out at different rates. So what's going to happen is one of them is inevitably going to get pulled out of the lash line, and that's when clients are going to feel a lot of discomfort of one of the lashes being pulled out prematurely. So we definitely want to be super careful with that and make sure we get rid of all these stickies. But if you do find these, don't worry, because this is normal and we can easily take care of them. So we'll take care of the first one here, which sometimes I'll use a mascara wand or just the back end of my tweezer. I can see here, okay, this one is stuck to the iPad. So I'm going to go ahead and lift that up. Now, same thing, just using this side of my tweezer, being very gentle and very careful. I'm just going to start wiggling underneath to see if I can get that loose. Now, if it doesn't come loose, this one has quite a lot of glue. Then what I'm going to have to do is actually peel it back, so you can either press down or use your other tweezer. And you want to grab both the extension and the natural lash and start just gently lifting off the iPad. You want to do it slow. You want to make sure the client's comfortable. And just carefully press down really gently because it is the eye area. And just slowly work that up so that it's not stuck. So we can see now that is no longer stuck to the under eye pad, so it's not going to rip out or pull when we go to remove that under eye pad at the end of our set. So next up here we have one lash extension which has been glued to 2 natural lashes. Some natural lashes grow so close to each other, so this can happen quite often. We want to make sure we separate this so that it's only on one natural lash. So we're going to grab the back of our tweezers. I like to flip them around and then just push in between and see if I can get that open. Sometimes I hold it with the other tweezer. See if I can work my way in. Now if it's pulling at all and it's not coming loose, then what you might need to do is grab the extension and grab those natural lashes. If you can't get it loose by wiggling under here without it pulling, you might actually have to remove this extension, and that's okay. It's better to remove it so that they're not getting pulled out. So we'll just use the banana peel technique. We'll hold on to these 2 natural lashes that it's attached to and pull back and pop that off. Now, because this was glued to 2 natural lashes, there's still a little bit of glue there, which is going to do the same thing. It's got those lashes stuck together, so we're going to want to make sure that we get that out. And just slowly, carefully separate those 2 lashes from each other. Now there's still quite a bit of glue on here. I put a lot of glue just to show for this video. We are going to want to get rid of that. Okay, so I've got the glue loose, just gently working at those lashes. Now the lashes have bent a little, but normally they wouldn't bend this much. This was just a really complicated case given that there was so much glue on here. So just be really careful you are not using too much glue, because you can see what can happen. Now we were able to salvage these 2 lashes, but you want to be really careful with them since they are a little bit kinked now, a little bit out of place, but they are still intact, so that's the good thing. It's better than them growing out together and getting pulled out. And then our final one here is where 2 extensions, which are right next to each other, are glued together. Now, they are each on their own separate natural lash, so the natural lash was isolated, but the glue didn't dry in time. This can happen if you're not keeping your lash isolated while that glue is drying, because you want to make sure that glue fully dries. Otherwise, this can happen, but this happens quite often, especially when you're starting out. So you want to separate these two from each other. So you can see there's 2 extensions and 2 natural lashes. So I'm going to grab hold with one tweezer of the one natural lash, the one extension, and the other natural lash and the other extension, and just pull those 2 apart. Now, the glue isn't fully even dried yet because there was so much glue on there, but you can see how those 2 pull apart like that, and once it's dried, they would just pop right apart from each other, and then those ones are totally fine to keep on. Now, if you lose a few lashes in this process, you can always reapply them, but you want to make sure you are removing all your stickies at the end of every fill and every set.